Let's go.
My Robin.
Go, 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 Tasteless.
All right, we're going.
We are going.
It's 1 second away.
No seconds away.
0 seconds.
Yet it wasn't instantaneous.
Pluralizing 0. Think about that.
Wow, they need
Weird.
to patch this game immediately. What am I doing here? All right,
Actually-
this is the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. Game 4, JF, last time's champion, against White-Ra, the best Protoss from the past year. It is destination at 12 o'clock with the green Protoss is JF. And wait a minute.
Hold
Before
that
I
thought.
say anything, White-Ra with Teal Protoss sending his probe out ridiculously fast. We're going to see a pylon in JF's main base, probably right in his mineral area.
Passes.
And gateways.
It's going to be a proxy gate rush. Now remember that JF does tend to scout after his first gateway. So if you go pylon on pylon on 8, gateway on 9, you can even double gate. Like, I'm really messing things up. And interestingly enough, he's actually going to go at the ramp. I actually thought it was going to be in the main.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to do one of those things, you know, where you put the gateways right in the mineral line and try to screw up probe pathing. You know, that's quite a good move oftentimes. You see people win with that a lot more than you would think they should. But, in fact, he is doing it at the bottom. There goes one gateway. And it looks like JF going to scout it pretty quickly here. Those probes having some words. And the teal probe dropping a rock on the foot of the green probe.
Yeah, some probe words. So it was like, and then JF's probe was like, but seriously, this is an interesting strategy. You see this every once in a while on one-on-one maps, especially on maps like Heartbreak Ridge, because you can get away with just straight-up harassment here. 2 gates on the way. Oh, interesting enough, second gate in the main. I like this because, of course, you can't have all your attention in one place when you're doing the pylon gateway harassment. So this actually could be very interesting. What I was initially worried about for White-Ra was if you put 1 gateway or 2 gateways on low ground, all they have to do is block the ramp.
Yeah.
And that will eventually happen because, of course, this is the smallest possible ramp you can have. So having this other gate in the main really mixes things up. This is something that White-Ra is really, working on. We can see Manor Pylon here. Now, note that Manor Pylon, it's not the best Manor Pylon in the world, but it does force the probes to go to the back mineral patch. And what that does is it'll make the Zealot harassment 10 times more effective.
At least.
Dare I say 11.
Dare you. All right, we see that the probe helping out with the harass. That's JF Zealot getting a little bit more damage than White-Ra's, but he gets an extra hit in there. And the probe goes down. That is actually really important that he killed that probe. No more Manor Pylons for White-Ra. And a shield battery going for JF. I do like that move. And it looks like White-Ra just going to do some hit and runs with his Zealot. And War 3 players, eat your heart out. Your units don't react quick enough to do moves like this.
Okay, we see a lot of probes getting harassed here, but the second Zealot was actually pinned down for a little bit there, taking a lot of damage. The shield battery's out. Now the shield battery, because it's in the mineral patches, can also help heal the probes if JF is quick enough to do that, which can really mess up the Zealot harassment. All JF has to do is stay alive and keep as many probes as possible, because when you do a rush like White-Ra's doing, you're actually cutting quite a bit of probes.
Yeah, you are. And I actually really like the position JF is in right now. He's working on that Manor Pylon. I don't like the Zealot behind it. It seems like he needs to be out front to help these guys. But right now, White-Ra moving up with 4 Zealots. And JF, he clears out that Manor Pylon. All right, here we go. It looks like JF doing a lot of damage to White-Ra's Zealots. And White-Ra is in trouble, man, because he got supply capped losing that Manor Pylon. His economy not too swift right now. But will he get that probe? No, he does not. JF doing a pretty good job of defense so far.
Yeah, really great defense here. Probes, of course, so fragile, especially in a rush like this. Okay, every Zealot counts right now, getting pretty low here. But again, remember, what the mission here for White-Ra is to just kill probes. It's okay if he loses a Zealot here or there, because as long as he gets enough probes, he can recover. But instead, 1 Zealot, moving southward for each player.
That's right. It looks like JF wants to go down and harass, and White-Ra obviously realizes he needs to send a Zealot down to stop this harassment. In the meantime, it looks like White-Ra in some serious trouble here, man. He's got 1 Zealot left in JF's main. His other Zealots killing the gateways of White-Ra. and just gets one more Zealot out. So it looks like JF is going to be able to clean this game up from this point. I do believe so, Tasteless. I mean, he's lost a decent amount of probes, but he has so many Zealots at this point. You see down in his main base that JF, he hasn't killed any probes yet, but White-Ra is forced into making some cannons, and, you know, cannons are not as good as Zealots.
Well, that's because Zealots can move.
That's right.
Those things are pretty good. Still more harassment going on here, but it's starting to slow down a little bit here for White-Ra as both the gateways have been taken out. There's really only one Zealot left here for White-Ra that can harass. Meanwhile, oh my god, we got a lot of Zealots moving across.
Train, man.
I know, it's a little conga line down here towards White-Ra's base, passing the Panda Bear guy, as he can't believe that he's seen yet another amazing proxy game that he's been present for here. You can see the second cannon warping in. Now, here's a problem for White-Ra, is he's stuck having to get those cannons and the forges out. Meanwhile, JF can already get his gas, start getting the cybernetics core, and of course, then get those Reavers that he's already, as we can see, so damn good at using.
You know, I think he's not even going to need Reavers this game. I think that the problem...
Just Dragoons, even. You can just shoot down the gateways or the Nexus.
The problem for White-Ra is going to be, you know, I think JF will not attack into these cannons, you know, with probe drills and everything, just blocking off with probes and that one Zealot and the new Zealots that are going to come out. Going to be very hard to really do any damage there. But see this gas? JF, just go up and right-click on that gas. You're going to kill it before you get hit by a cannon 3 times. No problem. These Zealots deal damage so fast. Just keep White-Ra off the gas, and you should be able to take this game pretty easily. You know, he's just not going to be able to tech, and you're not going to win from here with pure Zealot White-Ra. Sorry, buddy.
Well, this is what White-Ra gets for teching in such a weird way. I mean, he's basically done this proxy gate rush, and of course, if the proxy gate rush doesn't work, then you got to be MacGyver, you know, to get out of a situation like that. Sometimes we see people go straight to DTs and try to force the opponent to stay inside of his base because he has to have at least 2 observers. Meanwhile, hiding an expansion. Doesn't look like we're going to have that. Nice little micro ticks here by White-Ra, knowing that JF was on hold position. But again, JF has a lot of options. There's a lot of ways that JF can kill White-Ra.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm trying to think here. What would MacGyver do with 4 Zealots and 2 cannons, Stasis? What could he make with those?
He would probably, well, normally I think MacGyver would use a hockey ticket and a pencil sharpener to somehow defeat JF here in this position. But
did you know that you can make a catapult that takes down a shuttle with a Reaver in it with those 2 items?
With those 2 things, all you need is an alarm clock and a stick of deodorant. And you can do it. Really, what you have to do is hide expansions and go for DTs. You can go for defensive Reaver play, but like we said before, on this map, Reavers are so strong, and I gotta say, it's getting pretty bad for him right now. We can see one Zealot does a loop around here. He wants to check for tech. Not too much of a big deal, but he does need to have a good idea of, okay, is he doing anything weird? No? All right, good. As JF expands and continues to move forward.
You know, at this point, White-Ra actually has enough Zealots to go ahead and take out JF's army, considering that he has some damaged Zealots in there. But JF, just so far ahead, he's got the Dragoons making. He's making a forge right now. He's got that Nexus up almost 100% as is.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm actually a little bit surprised about the forge. I thought we didn't have a perfect count of how many probes were killed in that game, but I really would have expected JF to actually just tech to the Reavers. Getting that Reaver advantage, contain him on the first point of entry in the low ground part of his base, or of course on the 2 bridges. But look, JF is actually a much better Protoss player than Tasteless, if you can even imagine that for a second. So,
but
we can try to trust his judgment here.
I have to say that you may be more experienced in building cannons.
I am amazing at building cannons as well as Dark Templars, and I can say at this moment that I do believe that getting cannons in this odd position where he already scouted the fact that there was no Citadel, I don't think it gives him the benefits he wanted to garner.
Yeah, but even so, you know, he may just be like, all right, this is like gonna totally stop any rush coming at me. It's gonna stop any DTs that might possibly be made at some point. Makes me feel safe and warm inside. You know, it's what he wants. So I think it's a good choice, just considering he is so far ahead. White-Ra has just started this Nexus, not even at half health yet. So I understand the cannon. He just wants to make sure he wins this, man. He needs to get game 5 where he can make some more Reavers.
He might have been afraid of a hidden pylon or something too, where there was a tech he didn't see. Okay, hold that thought. We're moving forward here. He's actually pushing forward. I thought it was getting some light harassment here, but this is the problem with the situation here. Well, right now he's gonna have to use probes. White-Ra actually doing a lot more damage than I expected here, but nice probe usage. JF does drive him out, and I think that was actually a pretty big mistake. I think he might have wanted to wait until he had some other advantage than that.
You know, if that cannon wasn't there, actually, I think White-Ra would have done a lot more damage. So, JF's seeing something that we don't see. Using the Force or something. I don't know.
The Force
man.
is strong with him.
He is, man.
I wish he had used the Force so that the server wouldn't have crashed and we were delayed for an hour, but he was still pretty good at predicting these moves here. Nice DT tech. Now remember, contained very strong though, but it doesn't look like White-Ra is going to be able to take advantage of that because he's also going for DTs. So we're in a very interesting game here.
You know what's cool about that is White-Ra can always hold position at DT on his ramp to stop any DTs from coming up the ramp. It's like, what is that? Two stars colliding, man. An immovable object hits like
suddenly becoming
hits a
movable.
Protoss or something. I don't know, man. It's like one of those old Chinese proverbs, though, for sure.
All right, as you can see here, we don't see cannons at the expansion yet, and there's no well, there's cannons in the main, but there's no robotics facility, which is what's important here. So these DTs can actually move down here. JF really gonna be in a big lead here. We can see that White-Ra sees the blips on the map. He's desperately trying to make cannons in time. Dragoon's trying to block the ramp. This is gonna be very, very difficult for him to get away with as far as saving this expansion, but at the same time, remember, JF has to do everything perfectly here to pick off each of these cannons. One cannon close to warping in. They're going, and
They're going.
and they're not gone yet, but it looks like one of these cannons will be, and
Good pro blocking here by White-Ra.
wow, he's gonna save it. Well played.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
That was good move by him, but really JF didn't execute that right. We see JF, look at this, hold position on the ramp. No longer can White-Ra reinforce that expansion until he gets an observer or makes you know, a cannon right near that ramp. So JF may actually get a timing to win the game off that. In the meantime, robotics going up in White-Ra's base, he realizes that he is in trouble. I want to say, though, that JF actually made a huge mistake. He sent one DT to each side. He should have sent them both to the same bridge, killed a Dragoon super, super quick, get in there, and destroyed all those cannons. So actually, JF today, I don't like a lot of the decisions he's making. The Outsider game, the one exception there, but the other games, I have not been overly impressed.
It's been some pretty interesting decisions here so far by JF, but you know, I gotta say these guys are both handling themselves pretty well. But really, I'm shocked that that DT rush didn't do more damage. Really well handled by White-Ra, who actually could potentially come back from this. Looks like the Citadel is going to go down. I don't believe legs are being upgraded there. So, nothing huge, but still. I can't believe this game started out as a proxy gate, and it's brought us all the way to this point in time where, you know, now we actually see both these guys teching towards DTs and having expansions.
You know, I think that White-Ra is about to feel the hurt tasteless. We have JF coming down with a lot of Zealots, a lot of Dragoons. White-Ra has actually lost his cybernetics core, so he can't even make Dragoons right now. And here we go, White-Ra is in trouble, man. Here comes JF's army. 3 cannons at the expansion and some damaged Dragoons, but these Zealots just got the leg upgrade. And guess what? I think that JF is going to bring it to Game 5.
This is a disaster. Notice the ramp is blocked here because there's a Dark Templar there. Brilliant play here by JF. I really got to hand it to the guy. He's doing a great job. White-Ra's micro isn't even bad, but at the same time, I just can't emphasize how impressed I am with how well executed this attack was. I have to take back some of my stuff I was saying earlier about his inability to use DTs correctly or get those right builds out, because he really took advantage of this moment. The DTs are out now, but the Nexus might not be out for much longer.
This Nexus is going down for sures, and JF right now, he has his 3rd Nexus up, which is kind of funny because his economy is just looking superb, while White-Ra's is looking like October Zergs.
You know what's funny about this is if you go back to the original TSL, where we were in the finals and we saw that JF was down 2 games, right? And suddenly he came back 3-0. I think we might see that here. This guy is clutch.
He is absolutely clutch, man. I mean, this guy is a champion. Who knows? I guess you're born with it. And JF, man, it was like he was almost born yesterday compared to White-Ra. White-Ra has been working forever to get this good. He's had a great year, but JF pushing him to his limits here. Just really, really smart play.
Nice play. This guy is so good at video games. He must have, the doctor must have pulled him out of his mother with a Nintendo Power Glove on. I mean, this guy is a master.
Wow.
And so far, you can really see that there's actually no way I think White-Ra can win this. I mean, there's really, mathematically, it should be impossible. Especially when you consider these guys are both pretty evenly matched, and one has double the amount of, triple the amount of income as the other.
Yeah, White-Ra right now, he's having to build some extra cannons at his expansion, his natural base. That's not good. You know, he needs units. His supply is pretty low. We have it at 60. JF's in the meantime 117. JF not even bothering to go down and contain. He really doesn't need to. All he needs to do right now is just defend for a minute, macro up, and just walk over and just walk into White-Ra's base and be like, sup.
LOLs. Yeah, he has such a number advantage here. We see his army now moving down past Panda Bear Guy way. Of course, we don't have the same camera as you guys, so we don't get to know when you guys spot him, but he's still around.
Well, we have Jeff. I think he has enough right now to kill White-Ra. What do you think, Tasteless? White-Ra loading up a couple high tempers in the shuttle. He's going to obviously have to drop those back off. Is he going to fly them into Dragoons?
Okay, we can see he's actually moving that shuttle forward here a little bit. Total disaster. This should actually be game. In fact, this is game. He does have the 2 Templars out. We don't know if they have energy yet. I believe they would have stormed if they had. Oh no, they actually have more than enough energy, but it doesn't matter. White-Ra, GG's out. Very interesting game as far as how it evolved there. I look forward to the final game. We're finally casting a best of 5 that went to the 5th game, Dan. OMG.
Yeah, LOL. Well, let's look at this next map now. It is Fighting Spirit. I think it's a good map to finish this up on. I think it's one of the best maps in this TSL. Of course, Destination, my favorite map here.
I think it's going to be a pretty cool game. These guys have actually showed us the full swing of different types of Protoss versus Protoss games we can see here. We're going to get the game going here in just a little bit. By the way, I also think this is one of the best new maps we've seen on the on the screen.
Yeah, you know, PvP here, we saw a really good game, and it was TT1 against White-Ra actually on this map, where White-Ra gut contained, and then you know, he did some good harasses, got better tech, and kind of just came out.
I think you're totally right. Okay, well, I'm ready to start doing this.
All right, well, I think it's just about time to go. Shall we do it, Tasteless?
I think we shall.
Let's go.